All right, it's that time of year. We got to do our taxes. Everybody has to do the taxes. I believe this year, and most years, it's always due in April. This year, in 2025, our taxes are due on April 15th, which is this Tuesday. So in this video, I want to make a generalized overview of what taxes look like and what they're looking for. So this is not financial advice. This is not CPA advice. I am not a CPA. I'm just some random guy on YouTube. So I figured I'd make this video, and that way you have an idea what the IRS is looking for when you file your taxes, or even your accountant or CPA that's doing your taxes. There's only 4 things you need to know. So I hope you enjoy this video. Let's get on with it. So the first bracket is your income. So income based on the IRS includes your W-2, 1099, any scholarships where taxes not withheld if you're a student, internships if you're an intern and then you get paid some way for doing your research, or either being part of the medical field, even in the finance world. So depending on what you do, if you get paid for it, there's gonna be taxes on it. Those include research grants, so things that are paid out through universities. Rental properties, so those things also include as income. So you have property and they pay you a monthly rental fee. That means you have to kind of claim that on your tax. Any self-employment, you have to do a Schedule NEC for self-employment. Number 2 is expenses. Expenses include your retirement plan, your HSA health spending account, or even your individual retirement account. If you own a business, you know that you can deduct certain things like your usage of your cell phone, usage of your internet, your home as an office, as long as you do business within the office. If you're a teacher, any teaching expenses, any stationery, pens, papers, printouts that you have to make, flyers, either through Canva or some sort of software, you can claim those on your expense sheet. Any estimated taxes that you have paid in advance, either the prior years or even had scheduled payments because you knew you were going to be paying taxes back, so you did a scheduled payment, prepayment tax. Any moving expenses, you can deduct the moving expenses for a job as long as those are well documented. All right, so we got the third one here, deductions. So deductions are prepaid taxes that we talked about earlier, and expenses. So estimated taxes and prepaid taxes kind of falls in that gray area. Paying taxes on different states. So let's say you live like in New York. New York, I think it's 8% right now, compared to New Hampshire or Florida where you don't have taxes. Then you get credit for paying taxes toward those states. Any medical expenses that was not reimbursed or wasn't covered by a health spending account or flexible spending account, those will be deductible. Any real estate tax, if you meet a certain threshold or adjusted gross income, you'll be able to deduct those taxes based on your income. And sometimes we can deduct home mortgage interest, or even points paid toward a home mortgage interest. Any charitable donations that you have made throughout the year, as long as meet certain thresholds, look into that. Make sure that you are able to deduct that charitable donation. Any loss of vandalism that's had occurred on your property, even including your car, but nowadays being the electric cars like Tesla being vandalized, you can reclaim some of that, deduct some of that loss. Any safe deposit box you utilize or even rent out from a bank, then you can deduct that as a deduction. Any tax preparation software, a live person, you can deduct that up to a certain amount of adjusted gross income. Any vehicle excise tax, in my state, Massachusetts, we do have an excise tax in most of the Northeast. You can claim up to a certain adjusted gross income. Last is taxes and credits. So health insurance, you bought health insurance through a fair market deal, then you can deduct that too. Any educational expenses where you had to pay for your son's laptop for either for high school, for college, you may be able to deduct those expenses. So any dependents you have, be it your child or your elderly parents, you can deduct up to $3,000, I think, for this year. So double check on that. And also, if it's your elderly parents, if you take care of them most of the time, you can deduct that expense. Any home saving energy upgrades that you have, either new vinyl siding, new windows, a new radiator, a new heater system, you can deduct those expenses that you help to improve your home. Speaking of energy expenses, if you purchase an electric vehicle, a Tesla or a Rivian or any of those hybrid models, if you're able to deduct $7,500 from a federal tax credit, or even which state you're in Massachusetts, I think it's $3,500 for any electric vehicles that you're able to deduct that amount. School supplies, like I said, we alluded to this, laptops, college student, any backpacks, things like that, pencils, stationaries. I do work in healthcare. You can deduct uniforms, shoes, so up to a certain amount of adjusted gross income. So check with your accountant or CPA to make sure you can take advantage of those savings. Again, I work in healthcare, so if you're part of healthcare, sometimes you're part of a union, and those dues that you pay toward the union, should be able, or ought to be able to deduct some of those dues. That was it. So those 4 things we need to know in this video. We went over a generalized overview of what taxes entails. So we need to know about income, expenses, deductions, credits, and tax. I have videos on personal finance, cost savings, and help you with everyday finances like insurance, car insurance, home insurance, mortgages. And you like these kind of videos where I talk about personal finance, help you with living a better, healthier, wealthier life, then go and subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate you guys watching these videos. I'll see you in the next one.